Have you ever heard of a bird that literally seals its partner away for months, just to keep their family safe? It sounds a bit extreme, right? But stick with me, because the story of the helmeted hornbill is one of the most incredible tales of love, sacrifice, and partnership you'll ever hear. And believe it or not, it holds some powerful lessons about our own relationships. Let's journey deep into the rainforests of Southeast Asia. High up in the canopy, living in the hollows of ancient trees, we find our hero and heroine, a pair of helmeted hornbills. These aren't just any birds. They're magnificent, with huge gold and red casques on their heads that look like crowns. They're famous for their unique calls, which sound like a series of loud, booming laughs echoing through the forest. When a pair of hornbills decides to start a family, they do something truly remarkable. They find the perfect home, a hollow cavity high up in a giant tree. This will be their nursery. Once the female is ready to lay her eggs, the real commitment begins. She enters the hollow, and then, using a mixture of mud, fruit pulp, droppings, the couple works together to seal the entrance. The male brings the materials from the outside, and the female applies them from the inside, building a solid wall. They leave only a tiny, narrow slit just big enough for the male to pass food through. And that's it. The female is now a willing prisoner, completely sealed inside her wooden fortress. She's entirely dependent on her partner for survival. She can't leave, she can't forage, she can't even stretch her wings properly. She is putting her entire life, and the lives of her future chicks, in the beak of her mate. Can you imagine that level of trust? It's the ultimate leap of faith. For the next 4 to 5 months, this becomes their reality. While the female incubates the eggs and later cares for the tiny, featherless chicks, the male becomes the sole provider. His life is a relentless cycle of foraging and delivery. From sunrise to sunset, he flies tirelessly through the vast forest, searching for figs, fruits, and insects. He gathers them in his gula pouch, his special storage sack in his throat, and then he flies back to the nest. When he arrives, he perches by the tiny slit and carefully regurgitates the food, one item at a time, passing it through the opening to his waiting family. This isn't just a once-a-day delivery. He does this over and over again, all day, every day, for months. He faces constant danger from predators like eagles and snakes. He battles exhaustion. If anything happens to him, if he fails to return, his family sealed inside the tree will perish. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is where the metaphor for a marriage really comes to life. Think about it. Sealing the nest is like the commitment we make. When we get married, we're essentially saying to our partner, I'm building this life with you, and I trust you completely. We create a safe space, a nest, where our relationship can grow and where we can raise a family. It is a space that is meant to be protected from the dangers and distractions of the outside world. The female hornbill's confinement represents periods of vulnerability in our lives. There are times in any long-term relationship where one partner might be unable to contribute in the same way they used to. It could be due to pregnancy, illness, a career change, or a personal crisis. In these moments, like the female hornbill, one partner becomes more dependent. They need to trust that the other will step up, provide, and protect them. It's a test of the very foundation of the partnership. And the male hornbill, he is the embodiment of responsibility and dedication. His relentless quest for food is a powerful symbol of the hard work and sacrifice required to sustain a family. It's not always glamorous. It's a daily grind. It's about showing up, day in and day out, no matter how tired or stressed you are. because you know your loved ones are counting on you. It's about putting their needs before your own. His journey is a reminder that love isn't just a feeling, it's an action. It's a series of choices we make every single day to support our partner. But the story doesn't end there. After months of confinement, when the chicks are big enough and have grown their first flight feathers, the moment of freedom arrives. The female uses her powerful beak to chip away at the hardened mud wall from the inside. It's a slow, laborious process. Finally, she breaks free, emerging back into the sunlight for the first time in months. She's often weak and has lost her own flight feathers, which she shed during her confinement. But here's another beautiful part of the story. She doesn't just fly off. The family works together to reseal the nest, with the chicks now old enough to help from the inside. The parents then share the feeding duties, both bringing food to the growing youngsters until they are strong enough to break out of the nest themselves and take their first flight. It's a phased transition, a team effort right to the very end. This final chapter speaks to the evolution of a relationship. After a period of intense challenge and dependency, the partnership realizes. The partner who was vulnerable emerges stronger, and they begin to contribute again. The roles might shift, but the teamwork continues. The goal is to get the chicks, whether they're actual children, shared dreams, or business ventures ready to fledge and fly on their own. And they do it together. So, what can we learn from these amazing birds? First, trust is non-negotiable. The female hornbill wouldn't seal herself in if she didn't have absolute faith in her mate. In our own relationships, we need that same unwavering trust to navigate life's inevitable challenges. Second, sacrifice is part of the deal. Both hornbills make immense sacrifices. She gives up her freedom. He gives up his safety and energy. A strong partnership requires both people to be willing to put the we before them. Third, roles are flexible. The hornbills have defined roles during the nesting period, but those roles are based on the needs of the family at that specific time. They aren't rigid for life. Healthy relationships adapt. Sometimes you'll be the provider. Sometimes you'll be the one needing care. Being willing to switch roles is a sign of strength, not weakness. And finally, it's all about the shared goal. For the hornbills, the goal is simple: raise the next generation. Everything they do is aligned with that purpose. In marriage, having a shared vision for your future, what you rebuilding together, is the glue that holds everything together during the tough times. The helmeted hornbill's life isn't a fairy tale. It's a raw, difficult, and dangerous existence. But their strategy for survival is built on a bond so strong it seems almost unbreakable. It's a beautiful, wild metaphor for the kind of commitment, trust, and teamwork that can make a marriage not just survive, but truly thrive. So the next time you think about love and partnership, picture that male hornbill flying tirelessly through the rain, with a beak full of figs for his family, sealed safely in their nest. That, right there, is love in action. Thanks for watching and spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the wild that teach us about ourselves. See you next time.